It does. Good evening, everybody. The North Dakota City Council meeting is now in session. Today is Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. You all please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather together again once this evening, and we ask for you to guide us through our meeting. We thank you for the gifts of mutual respect and insights into the common concerns we share. And we thank you for helping us to accomplish our work this day. We ask these things in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sweater. Here. Roots here. Davis.
Here.
Winkle.
Excuse.
Haywood. Here. DeVries. Here. Jacobs.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Service Director. Here. Law Director.
Here.
Engineer.
Here.
Auditor.
Here.
Clerk Accountant. Here.
Tonight, under minutes, we have the city council meeting minutes dated August 15th, 2022. Are there any changes or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as submitted. Please note that council has also been provided with the safety committee meeting minutes dated July 11th, 2022. The tax abatement and review board meeting minutes dated August 1st, 2022. The planning commission meeting minutes dated August 9th, 2022, as well as the civil service commission meeting minutes dated August 22nd, 2022. Next up is our lobby session. We will open the lobby session to allow an opportunity for the public to address city council as well as the city administration. Anybody who wishes to speak will be allowed up to 3 minutes, and we ask that you please speak from the podium and begin by stating your name and address for the record. So at this time, the lobby session is now open. Is there anybody who wishes to address council or the administration this evening? Mr. Hill, I think you're going to go when the safety service director does his report. Is that correct? Is that not on the agenda?
Right.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I have a report, but I wasn't. Yeah, I got you.
All right, well, at this time, the lobby session is closed and we will move on to administrative reports. We'll begin with the mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. On the first readings tonight, we have two ordinances that we would like to pass with the emergency clause. First one being T-135. It's an ordinance authorizing the disposal of vehicles and equipment no longer needed for municipal purposes. As you know, we try to get rid of those things and get rid of them quickly because the longer we hold on to them, the less valuable they become. We have T-137 as well. That is a resolution of support for the Ohio Public Works Commission to submit an application for OPWC state capital improvement funding for the Maddock Road box culvert over Watson Ditch project. There is a deadline for OPWC, so we're asking for that to be passed with the emergency clause. And also T-124 is under second readings. It is the Eastview Avenue sanitary sewer extension project that we're trying to move forward with that to bring sewers into that area and improve the health, safety, and welfare of those community members in that area. If you haven't heard, we now have a Facebook page. The City of North Ridgeville government is the page, and you can find links to that page on our city's website if you need to do that. But check that out. We'll put information on there as often as we can, and just one more way to share information with the public. NOPEC. So there's been some changes in energy prices with NOPEC. NOPEC on their own decided that there was some proactive approach that they could take to change people off of the current billing that they have and move them to a lower priced billing. There's more information on their website. I won't get into all the details on that, but with the energy market being as much in turmoil as it has been, there's a lot of changes in prices, and NOPEC is trying to save money. We'll see how that works out for everybody. The service department is paving, and they finished Gale Drive last week. They were starting the Mill, Hadaway, James, and Mark Court. And there was one more street that they were adding as well. So they're trying to mill all the streets that they have left to pave. There is the possibility that we might have some additional money to add one more street to our list, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. That concludes my report. Thanks.
Fair, Safety Service Director.
Mr. President, I apologize. You caught me off guard in not following the mayor's safety service director's report. I know Leo's here to talk about the garden, and I would like to community garden, Leo, if I could have Leo talk about the success of the garden this year, and hopefully we'll look forward to next year. So with your
Please, Mr.
Leo Hill from the community garden.
I already had it introduced, I'm Leo Hill, and I'm one of 3 managers at the Ridgeville Community Garden. Another manager sitting right here, Bob. There's also a third one that manages the community care of the garden. Bob and I basically share a responsibility for the other plots, which totals almost 100. Just some things that I probably have mentioned before that I already mentioned. There's about 100 people involved in the community garden. There's 100 individual lots. Lots run 15 feet wide and 20 feet long. The total amount of the garden area is almost 2 acres. This property is on loan to us from a group in Maryland, and is leased out by one of the local farmers, Bob Turns. Bob helps us in the beginning of the planting season. He'll bring his big tractor in there and rototill or plow it all up for us, and then we'll lay out the individual lots. Several different types of people. First of all, we have seniors, and it started with seniors. And recently, within the last few years, we're starting to get younger families in there, which we really look forward to. It's always been my opinion for seniors, it's a purpose and a social event. For the families, it's a family activity, and for their kids, it's an education. And that's pretty much the steps we take towards that gardening. We're diverse. We have 2 African families with us and been with us for several years now. We have a Vietnamese family and we have a Chinese family. And this year we picked up a family from India. And the big reason I mention that is these families grow stuff from their homelands. It's stuff that they can't go up to Walmart and buy. And it's very interesting to several of the gardens, including myself. Bob and I have actually had an opportunity to try some of it. They prepared a lunch for us, and they were very good. There's some other exciting things happening. Of course, you know that we donate a lot of produce to community care. That amount runs between 2,000 and 3,000 pounds a year. This year, that effort was expanded to the senior center, which I believe is in the parking lot here. And what was unique about that is our other manager, Bill Ramsey, had actually talked to the chef at the senior center, and they are using this produce for Meals on Wheels, which is outstanding in my opinion. Couple other things that have happened both last year and this year was a student from Kent State last year came to do research on bee and garden pollination. She spent a few days there doing her research. And that was pretty exciting to me. This year, we had 2 students from Cleveland State doing research on weeds. And they spent, 2 of them spent over a week and several hours at a time. We also have a master gardener. Her name is Mary, and she had worked with those students in their studies. Now, what's exciting to me about that was these are not students from Northridge. One in particular lives way out on the east side somewhere, and another one happens to live in southern Ohio. They heard about this garden from school somewhere and came out here to find it. So we're getting a little PR here outside of the city, which is great. And what else did I want to talk about? Community care effort. Got that. Seems to be something else. I didn't make notes right. But this garden has been around for 12 years. It started with a handful of people in Pioneer Ridge, Del Webb area, and a group of people from community care. And since then, it's grown in 12 years to what we have today. We work very hard to keep it looking beautiful. In the landscaping area, we took on the roundabout circle to take care of. And we put a bunch of mulch in there this year. Yeah, we weed it, we trim it, and we fertilize. That's what we do with it. And we do that often enough that you don't see anything bad about it. I can't think of anything else, Bob. Nothing.
You want some actual poundage?
Well, Bob can give you some poundage.
Total, I'm Bob Markey. Total poundage that community care. Well, between community care, senior center, we're about 2,300 pounds. Now, 900 pounds of that 23 has come out of the individual gardens. That's extra produce that we give to community care. And we're really happy that Bill set up that he can put it in the senior center and they are using it for the Meals on Wheels. But I also want to thank Kevin and Jeff for the use of their secretaries in the spring when all the applications are coming in here, and I come up twice a week to collect them. I want to thank you for that. And your general support of the gardens.
I will add to that the past administration and the present administration has always, from day one, been very supportive of this garden. So I'm not going to use any more of your time. Thank you for the time to speak on it. I just like once a year, I like to come in towards the end of our season and just give everybody an update. It's a very important thing in our city.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very
for
much.
being here.
Thank you.
Mr. Hill as well as Mr. Markey. Appreciate everything that you do for the community garden. I know it's an opportunity for a lot of homeowners that wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to have a garden in their own yard. So, that along with the effort for community care is, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
One other thing is that, quite honestly, I commented is in our the logo. I mean, I really appreciate the efforts of the clerk of council and it's, it's a lot different than it's smooth. I like it. It kind of blends with what Leo just talked about, a community that cares about its city and new city of North Ridgeville logo and what we're trying to portray, and including the R in the city of North Ridgeville on our slide tonight. It's kind of gives us a sense of success as far as I'm concerned, and that completes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer.
Thank you, Council President. Just want to give a couple of updates. Lorraine Road, water main is complete, restoration is complete. There are some traffic control items left out there that will be removed this week, and that project will be pretty much wrapped up. The T-137 2022 that the mayor spoke about is a culvert project that will be going to construction probably late August of 2023. This is just our application for that. In this application, we're asking for grant money and a little bit of loan money from the OPWC program to be able to fund that. The only city money coming to that project would be for the loan repayment, which is a 0% loan for 20 years at a later date. So, and that payment doesn't start till after we complete the project and everything's turned in. So that would be like 24 or 25. So, secondarily, we're looking to get the Eastview project the mayor also spoke about going. That is a sewer line extension that will serve some property along Center Ridge Road that will hopefully open up some more land for development. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you. Ms. Auditor.
Thank you, Council President. Before council tonight is T-138, which is legislation amending the 2022 permanent appropriations. I would like to ask council to consider adopting this legislation tonight and adding the emergency clause to provide the auditor's office the necessary resources to meet our financial obligations. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Please note, we also have tonight the July 2022 Mayor's Court Report as well as the August 2022 Building Department Report. There are no council committee reports or correspondence. I think that brings us up to recess.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Bruce.
make a motion to dispense with recess. Second.
It was moved by Booth, and seconded by Abens to dispense with recess. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no. All right, we'll dispense with recess and move on to first readings this evening. And up first, we have T-130.
T-130 2022, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract according to law and in a manner prescribed by law with EJAAM Environmental Incorporated to provide environmental professional services required by the Abandoned Gas Station Program grant not to exceed $250,000.
T-131.
T-131 2022, an ordinance accepting certain streets improvements located in the Meadow Lakes subdivision number 12 and dedicating them for public purposes.
T-132.
T-132 2022, an ordinance accepting certain streets sub improvements located in the Lifestyles of Meadow Lakes subdivision number 1 and dedicating them for public purposes.
T-133.
T-133 2022, an ordinance accepting certain street improvements located in the Lifestyles of Meadow Lakes subdivision number 2 and dedicating them for public purposes.
T-134.
T-134 2022, an ordinance giving the mayor the authority to enter into an agreement with Isomer Group Incorporated to pay the city's share of the costs for the turning / deceleration lane at the intersection of Bagley Road and Lorraine Road in the amount not to exceed $60,100.94.
T-135.
T-135 2022, an ordinance authorizing the disposal of vehicles and equipment no longer needed for municipal purposes.
Mr. President.
Yes,
Move
Mr.
to
Mayor.
dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Booth to dispense with the second and third readings for T-135. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no.
President, move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, move to add the emergency clause for the reasons I stated earlier tonight.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Booth to add the emergency clause to T 135 for the reasons stated earlier by the mayor. On that emergency clause alone, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. It was then moved by the mayor and seconded by Booth to adopt T 135 with the emergency clause in place. This time, are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Haywood,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance number 5990-2022.
T 136.
T 136-2022, an ordinance amending North Ridgeville Codified Ordinance, Chapter 1650, as a result of a recently passed state law concerning the discharge of fireworks.
T 136 will be referred to the committee of the whole. T 137.
T 137-2022, a resolution of support for the Ohio Public Works Commission priorities by authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission state capital improvement and or local transportation improvement programs and to execute contracts as required.
President,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
move to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Avens to dispense with the second and third readings for T 137. Comments?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mrs. Swing.
through the engineer, are you aware that the Ohio Turnpike is slated to do work on Race Road at the same time?
Yes, they are doing a bridge replacement project, but I believe. Can't remember if we allowed at this point in time, I'd have to go back to my notes. A closure, there's supposed to be traffic maintained.
So we're not gonna close both roads at the same time?
No.
That would be really bad.
Are there any other comments? Okay, again, it was moved by the mayor and seconded by Avens to dispense with the second and third readings for T 137. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, move to add the emergency clause to meet the deadline of the OPWC program.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Avens to add the emergency clause to T 137 in order to meet the OPWC deadline. On that emergency clause, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. It was then moved by the mayor and seconded by Avens to adopt T 137 with the emergency clause in place. This time, are there any comments or questions?
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
Booth.
through the chair, do we have an idea of what the total cost is going to be and how much we anticipate the grant and the loan to be?
I do not. I'll have to defer that to the engineer.
Through the chair, yes, the total cost is estimated at $398,000. There should have been an exhibit B with that ordinance. If not, there's an exhibit B out there, or A, and it's broken up. Grant is $340,000, and I believe the loan is going to be about $58,000.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avens,
Yes.
Haywood,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes resolution 1575-2022.
T 138.
T 138-2022, an ordinance amending ordinance number 5889-2021 of the city of North Ridgeville, Ohio, providing appropriations for the period commencing January 1st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2022.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. DeVries.
move to dispense with the second and third reading.
Second.
It was moved by DeVries, seconded by Booth to dispense with the second and third readings for T 138. Are there any comments? Hearing none, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. DeVries.
Motion to adopt. Second. Mr. President, motion to add the emergency clause as stated by the auditor to meet our financial obligations in a timely manner.
Second.
It was moved by DeVries and seconded by Booth to add the emergency clause to T 138 for the reasons stated earlier by the auditor. On that emergency clause alone, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. It was then moved by DeVries, seconded by Booth to adopt T 138 with the emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Blake,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Haywick,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance number 5991 2022.
Move on to second readings. Up first, we have T 123.
T 123 2022, a resolution revising community reinvestment area requirements by amending resolution number 768 90.
T 124.
T 124 2022, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into contracts according to law in a manner prescribed by law with the lowest and best bidders for the Eastview Avenue sanitary sewer extension and other appurtenances in the amount not to exceed $400,000.
Mr. President, move to dispense with the third reading.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Awig to dispense with a third reading for T 124. Are there any comments? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, move to add the emergency clause for the reasons stated earlier.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor, seconded by Awig to add the emergency clause to T 124 for the reasons stated earlier in the meeting by the mayor. On the emergency clause alone, all in favor say yes. All opposed say no. It was then moved by the mayor and seconded by Awig to adopt T 124 with the emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Booth.
Yes.
Havens.
Yes.
Haywick,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance number 5992 2022.
T 125.
T 125 2022, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract according to law in a manner prescribed by law with the lowest and best bidder for the roadway extension of Cypress Avenue to an intersecting point with Lorraine Road in an amount not to exceed $1,400,000.
T 126.
T 126 2022, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract according to law and in a manner prescribed by law with the lowest and best bidder for the replacement of water mains and other appurtenances on Stony Ridge Road in the city of North Ridgeville in the amount not to exceed $400,000.
T 129.
T 129 2022, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract according to law and in a manner prescribed by law with the lowest and best bidder for the extension of a water main and other appurtenances on Mills Road in the city of North Ridgeville in the amount not to exceed $400,000.
There are no third readings this evening. As for meeting announcements, the next regular council meeting will be held here in the council chambers on Monday, September 19th at 7 p.m. Do any of the council members or administration have any final comments or questions this evening? This meeting is adjourned.